So here's a place that has gone through hell. It went through slavery, it went through Katrina. But the people are some of the kindest, most open, friendly people I've ever met.
What really hits me is the resilience of the people here. Like, everybody has their story of Katrina.
It's only 10 years ago. What they've done is quite phenomenal, really. I feel very lucky that we got to see it, and very sad for what those people went through.
You really feel that resilience of the human spirit. Everybody is, warm and friendly and says, thanks for coming, thank you for your business.
They'd drive by you or they'd wave at you and say, how y'all doing? It was like they meant it. They wanted to know. They made eye contact.
You think you were in a small town. You walk by people and they really greet you. They don't just say hi like we do when you're on a hike. They really greet you.
I love the front porch culture. People on the front porches. Just again, I rode this bike for 3 days, so I got a lot of that experience just on these two wheels, and people being so kind and friendly and just arms up in the air every time I'd ride by any house, really. If someone's on the front porch, hi y'all, how you doing, sweetheart? Hello, honey chop.
And there was a lot of that feeling of genuineness from a city that's flooded with tourists.
We went to the lovely reception that was organized by Katrina.
Katrina Porter-Dean was our woman on the ground who really put this tour together for us, and she put a wonderful itinerary together. So we got to experience the hospitality of people as well as the musicality of people, and our first experience was them hosting a dinner for us, which was wonderful.
It was special. It was kind of a launch, like an introduction to Louisiana.
When Katrina set up, she just did a fabulous job with all her friends and family. Her mother was there.
I want to take a moment and welcome you to New Orleans. We like to eat, and that's
crawfish boil was really lovely. I couldn't believe they packed that many of us into that house.
Our parish's motto, I guess our motto is the Uptown Church of the Down and Holy Spirit. This part of New Orleans is called Uptown. So this is our church right here at the end of the block, Blessed Sacrament, St. Joan of Arc. When folks come from out of town, I don't know, it's a New Orleans thing just to make them feel at home. So that's what we're doing.
The array, the buffet they had.
Put on the most amazing feast.
That was a hoot and a half, and the food was so good. Best brisket I've ever tasted.
Hundreds of crawfish, bright orange.
The women there were so great. They'd get out one and they'd do this little demonstration.
Stop the head. Pull back the shell. You can get the fine delicate, or you want to pull the shell back. Okay. Pull that poop out. Y'all like that? Very good.
Bit of a job, that crawfish. I'm used to the big lobsters, so it was a bit of a workout just for this tiny little niblet, but it was an experience that I wouldn't have given up for the world. It was great.
I never before and never after that ate anything so fiery. The corn, I had tears pouring down my face.
Those corn on the cob, oh my Lord. It was dark, you know, sort of had the spice in it, and I took one bite.
I saw Drummond take a bite of the corn and went,
and it was just like, my lips are burning off. I don't think I felt my lips for another 15 minutes or something, so really spicy.
They had a DJ, we had dancing.
And that crazy dancing, that was a lot of fun. And I think that kind of, you know, our hosts thought at that point, hey, okay, these people are all right. And I think they felt good about that. It was a nice way to connect.
And we experienced really wonderful hospitality.
You know, I hope you enjoyed your dinner.
It was a wonderful night, and it was such a great way, because that was my first day, so it was a great way to be welcomed into the city of New Orleans for the first time ever.
Oh yes, I want to go. Come on, come on, come on. When don't you wanna go? Come on, come on, come on. Don't you wanna go? Come on, come on, come on.
By the end of that night, we all wanted to sing, so we sang something. We just sang to the cooking crew. And in hindsight, I think that was a very good thing, because they realized maybe we weren't as pitiful as we might have been.
I enjoy bumping into choir people all over town.
And everyone is in such a wonderful mood. Everyone is having such a good time. Everyone makes room for everyone else at whatever table we end up at.
Bump into people, and then you kind of, meet up with someone, you continue a little bit, you kind of meet other people, you continue with them a little bit. It felt really neat to kind of share.
Oh wait, it's a video. How much are you all enjoying your sandwiches?
Oh, it looks fantastic.
Okay, now we'll take a picture instead.
It's just so fun to have a chance to get to know people
just a little bit more, right? You know, I roomed with someone that I barely knew before the trip and know really quite well now. And I ate meals with people that I've sung beside for years, but never really sat down and had a big chat with them or learned more about their family. So that was a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun together, and it was just great to get to know so many of the choir members. It was just really special.
Yeah, some people I've met for the first time here. You know, that I see at every rehearsal, but they're on the other side of the room and I never connect with.
I really enjoyed the small groups that were created in the choir, because in the choir there's 100 of us and it's really hard to get to know everybody. So the way it naturally worked out, that everybody kind of grouped together and stayed in different places, and you could see deeper relationships forming.
What I love about choirs is there's an intimacy in singing together that's different from any other kind of intimacy. I mean, it's strange to say you can have this kind of intimacy with 100 people, but you do, and that's the joy of a choir, right?
But there's a closeness that developed, and I remember being at the Rock and Bowl, sitting at the table, and just having this feeling almost overwhelming of, these people are my family. I am so comfortable with all of these people.
There was 6 of us in the bed and breakfast, and I feel like we all got to know each other much better, and really appreciated having that camaraderie there and people to really share it with and talk about it at the end of the day. And
so that was a good part of it too, was connecting with some choir people that I honestly didn't even know some of their names before the trip.
All those connections that I made with the people in the choir were really special. Yeah. And I feel like I know everybody just a little bit better now.
As a new person in the choir is amazing, and I love that we just get there and we work really hard and then I drive home. This has been such a great opportunity to actually get to know the people I'm singing with, and I love them. It's really cool. Can't even put my glasses back on now.
And then when we could click together, for example, on the streetcar, that was another example of it.
Come on, come on, come on. Don't you want to go? Oh, yes, I want to go.
Loved going on the tram car and St. Charles tram car, and we did a little flash mob action a couple of times, which we always had some interesting response. We just broke out in some song or something.
And like a dozen of us would just start to sing. And it was the music that we knew and the music that we'd rehearsed, but there was just a few of us and it was impromptu and it was so fun.
The people on the bus just started to really respond in a fun way. There's some people dancing at the front, and there was this young woman that was sitting right in front of us who just turned around and just beamed. Her face was just full of light, and she said, "I can't believe I'm hearing this." And Patty Powell, she fished in her knapsack and pulled out her CD and gave it to this young woman who was really just thrilled. It was nice to give her a piece of it to take away with her.
You see signs of amazing creativity everywhere. Quirky little things on people's houses, signs.
There was this wild sense of humor in New Orleans that I really liked. We were walking along one day on the sidewalk, and there was a sign that said, "Apartment for rent, haunted." I thought, well, I don't know, maybe that's something to do with the voodoo thing. Maybe that's a good thing in New Orleans. And then I happened to glance back as we went past it, and it said, "Apartment for rent, not haunted." So I guess they really wanted to rent it. Whatever you wanted, they got it.
I saw a guy busking on the street who had a unicorn head mask on, a full unicorn head mask. I mean, how often do you see people who think about doing something like that? It feels like you could be the most amazing eccentric and you would just feel totally at home here.
To kiss. I'm in Corinthians flat. Your mood just a swelling. Yeah, yeah. Wonder my darling.
Our next choir event was meeting with the Shades of Praise Gospel Choir.
We went to Loyola University, and that was beautiful because it was gentle and it was honest.
Yeah, leave the chairs and try to leave a space. Somebody to sit next to you.
Rather than separating the choirs, he invited his choir to come and mingle with the City Soul Choir.
They just sort of welcomed us in and started teaching us the songs.
We're going to do this verse a couple of times. The first verse, which we basically saying is what we're going to do jointly. You guys, I've heard you out there. Y'all good and warm.
Okay, there's like no seams here. Right? You know, we're just all part of you and you're just all part of us.
Come on, everybody, it's time to start. Praise the Lord your God with all your heart. Every tongue, in every race. All of God's children take your place.
They were a lot like us. They were multicultural, multiracial.
A community choir rather than a church choir. People from different faiths and backgrounds that sang traditional black gospel music.
Lift up your hands to the sky. All of God's children testify. Everybody testify. Spread of His goodness and His grace. All of God's children take your place. Take your place. Praise the Lord. Everybody praise the Lord.
Al started teaching us a tune and liked what he heard, and then he taught us another tune, and then he taught us another tune.
When we get to the vamp, it's going to be that line. Heaven is waiting for me.
Heaven is waiting for me.
I really felt the community of people that came, and then the kids were there, and it moved me.
It was an entire evening of them taking their rehearsal time to share their music with us and for us to share their music with them. And I think that was an enormous act of generosity.
I'm not an overly religious person, but for me, where the connection with the spirit is with the harmony and with the music. So there were some incredible moments when we were listening to and singing with Shades of Praise.
the musicality and relaxedness they had when the soloist stood up and just sang their stuff. It was a great example to us of how to deliver a song.
You don't know these people. I don't know anything about these people. They don't know anything about me or the rest of us. But we sat there and created music together in a matter of, an hour. And by the end, we felt like we'd known each other for a very long time. And it was just this connection that you can get through music. That was very powerful that night.
I wish we could have spent more time with them. It just really felt like a real fit.
A lovely, gentle introduction and sort of paved the way to the much more intense encounters that were to follow.
There's lots of musical traditions here, but for me, the gold mine was Zydeco. My Cajun heritage, so I have a bond with Cajun people here, and Zydeco music has been so much fun.
We did go to the Rock and Bowl. Oh, I see now. There's like a pun in that, right? It just occurred to me now.
It ended up, there was probably about 30 of us who ended up there. In the pouring rain, we took the streetcar to the end of the line, and then when the streetcar ended, we thought, oh, it's only a few blocks, and God said, not dry, and we just got soaked. The one that got it the worst was Alan, because he was dumb enough not to wear a jacket or bring an umbrella, and so Alan got soaked. And so we all got to the Rock and Bowl, and we all hung our clothes up to dry.
We walk in and it's this massive venue. It would be like walking into Superstore and having a band over here and then this huge dance floor and bowling in the back and a big bar in the middle. Doing that was a nice way to connect with people too. Yeah, and get out of the rain.
Dance?
I did dance, yes.
Everybody danced. Either on the main dance floor, which was hazardous because it was full of couples that actually knew what they were doing.
There was a lot of happy people there. Everyone dancing was really happy. And it was a really feel-good place.
The energy was just, so high. I didn't know that a washboard could actually ever have a solo, but apparently they can, and a very good one at that.
It was so much fun. We had a blast.
We know that jazz was born of cultures coming together and creating this new thing that could have only happened at that moment in New Orleans. And the architecture is similar, right? And the culture is similar. It's really its own kind of place.
It's like it's a different country.
Welcome to the city where people like to eat. And music, 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 you can't resist the beat. Lots of pretty ladies like you never seen. 'Cause there ain't no city like New Orleans.
I really enjoyed walking around in various neighborhoods, even the slightly sketchy ones, because it's such an interesting city to explore.
Oh, telling who you meet. You might be a king, you might be a queen. 'Cause there ain't no city like New Orleans. Check it out.
There's just so much history there, and it's incredible. I wish I had time to learn more about it.
The mix of French influence and Spanish influence.
The city felt to me much more Caribbean and European than it did American.
I think I was totally besotted with the architecture. I could not walk enough around and take pictures and look at all the different architectural detailing.
I have taken so many pictures of so many buildings, doors, windows, balconies, and galleries, because now we know the difference between a balcony and a gallery being supported, a balcony being risky at best.
I said, ooh, that said there ain't no groove. Ooh, that said there ain't no groove. Wanna take your weekend move.
Let's just do it one more time from our heart. Thank you, Jesus. We give you all the
They had a whole prayer circle, people speaking out loud to God, speaking in tongues, just being that open and that extroverted in their expression and praise.
Mind. A dozen of them could produce almost as much sound as we 60 could produce.
I want to introduce him to us. His name is Brian Tate. He is a gifted, I've been listening and watching him. I've just been enjoying. He is kind, he is comical, and strict all at the same time.
It was super fun to learn a song on the spot with Jermaine, the Reverend, and his enthusiasm.
Wait a while, right?
teaching us all the parts with his piano player, who was this amazing musician. Just the most engaging, musically exciting evening we'd had for a while.
Different words. This and that. I put it all in his hands. He can handle it. That's a fact. I put it all in his hands. Got it?
The most amazing thing was Earl, the lovely guy with the flat top and his amazing tambourine.
I'd never seen tambourines used like that.
He can handle it. That's a fact.
I'll see you there at the foot of Canal Street. What will they wear at the foot of Canal Street? Will the band be playing at the foot of Canal Street? Or will the people be singing at the foot of Canal Street? Does your
Several of the tours were tours of the graveyard, and I thought, why are they taking people to the graveyard?
I'm gonna let my burdens down at the foot of Canal Street.
The graveyards were just totally fascinating to me.
Well, it turned out you can't bury people in New Orleans because it's already underwater.
Everyone is buried above ground because if you bury Grandma in November, you might see her in July again because the ground is shifting and you're on a river delta.
Where pops is blowing, walk on. With Gabriel making sacred songs, I'll see you there at the foot of Canal Street. What will
by a little mausoleum, and then you put the dead body in there, and within 2 to 3 months, the body is completely disintegrated because of the heat and humidity.
I learned stuff about above ground crypts I never knew, like their 500-degree ovens in the southern sun, and it's kind of a slow cremation.
Flameless cremation. The ashes fall down, and then in goes the next person.
This is your property, okay? You buy these tombs or build these tombs. I have inherited more tombs and cemetery property than regular property. I only have 2 sisters and 2 brother-in-laws in the whole world. So what's going to happen with us, we're going to eventually have a meeting, and we're going to put these puppies up for sale. And we could put them on eBay or Craigslist, or we could advertise in the church bulletin, however we want to sell them. And we can either exhume the cremains of our family and our ancestors and our friends, or we can leave them there and they can make new friends with the new owners. That's the way it works in New Orleans.
I'm gonna lay my burdens down. I'm gonna put on my golden crown. We're moving up to higher ground at the foot of Goodnow Street.
All right, good morning all.
Good morning, Brother Brian.
Good morning. Good to see you. Looking all in your finery, looking good. Ready to sing?
Yeah.
Most people have this image in their mind when they think of what a Catholic church is like.
I have been in a few Catholic churches, but not like this one. Started out with a full-on booty-shaking start of the service. Full-on band, all wearing sunglasses in church. It was great.
It had the perfect balance to me of the bombastic gospel music style that was just, whoa! All I could think is I would be excommunicated if this happened back home. It's like, no, the priest would have a stroke.
Made you wonder, are all the Catholic churches like this down here?
We were very welcome and made you feel very welcome. And there was no pressure. There was nothing but, we're so glad you're here.
All our friends from Vancouver this morning. We want to welcome you into this warmth of New Orleans. Both weather and culture, right?
I was feeling a bit at first like, can we do this? We're singing music in New Orleans. I mean, New Orleans is the city of music, and do they really need us,
What's it going to be like for a bunch, mostly white guys, singing black music to the black people who originated this music? It's their music.
As the priest said, we wondered if Vancouver had any soul.
Well, we have a little soul from Vancouver right here. Don't know what that monster looked like, but anyway.
It was such a privilege to be invited to sing and bring the music of that style there and do it our way. They just had a kickin' band and an amazing choir, and unbeknownst to me, as soon as we started our band tunes, the band just started to play. And these were not traditional gospel numbers. One of them is one of my own arrangements, so it doesn't follow a typical path, but the musicians there, especially in that tradition, are so good, and they know the grooves so well, and they listen so well. They just started playing along, and they just used their instincts in terms of where the song went. So they accompanied all of our band pieces, even though they'd never heard the songs before, they'd never had the music. I don't even know how they knew what key we were in. They just found it.
Catholic service like we've never seen before.
I've never seen a Catholic priest boogieing in the middle of the aisle of his church, really getting down.
Which was kind of cool. I don't think I've ever seen a priest dance, and I'm back to my thoughts of excommunication.
Watching a Catholic priest dancing down the aisle with his arms up, and I never thought I would see something like that before.
And Mimi killed it. Raised the roof.
She was absolutely phenomenal.
She took us all on this crazy journey of this song and just opened everybody's hearts and surprised the pants off the locals who didn't think any soul would come out of Vancouver.
That was an experience I'll never forget, just the people standing up and singing with us and just how emotional that was for everybody. Lots and lots of tears coming down.
She sang her heart out with that song, you know, and I enjoyed it, and I still got that message too. Just say yes. Like somebody needed to hear that, you know, just get somebody over a little hard spot.
Brian singing, leading us was fantastic. That was sort of the first time that because he had to lead us because we were going to extend the roadmap of the song, and I think the Spirit took him to do it.
The way people accepted us, the way they started dancing in the aisles, the way they stood up when we sang certain songs, again, that was very rewarding because it felt like we were actually bringing something to them that they were not only relating to, but that they respected.
I think we showed them that we do have some soul.
I think we showed ourselves that there was soul in Vancouver.
who knew Vancouver had so much soul? We were pretty pleased. It's just like, yes.
While we're on Vancouver, I kind of say, can any soul come out of Vancouver? But I was proved wrong, you know?
They're just such loving, warm, open, physical people. Everything about church is physical.
It seemed a real part of what New Orleans is like. People are unself-conscious about singing, about performing, about dancing. It just seems to me that when you're in New Orleans, singing is like breathing. Dancing is like breathing. It's all part and parcel of what one is.
The music just infuses everything.
And so much music all over the city. A trumpet playing here, or saxophone playing there. Everywhere, everywhere.
There's just music coming out of not every corner. I mean, every door practically. It's just amazing.
Busker here, a whole group there. We saw an amazing group of about 8 people, a tuba, a young woman who had a voice like Bessie Smith, tuba skinny, and it was a concert just in the middle of the street. They were off the charts.
Now you got me here, you try to mistreat me. I'm going back home. I'm going back home. I'm going back home where I know I'll get better care.
And you go a couple blocks further and you see somebody else.
you know, the city's just oozing out of every pore with art and music, and can really teach the world a lot of things about how to do those kinds of things with grace and beauty.
You can't go anywhere here without stumbling over another amazing musician doing something else amazing. There's so much culture, so rich.
This music that we're hearing is brass band music. This is where it started. I mean, this is the source. So there's something very special about that.
Every moment that we had, we were down on Frenchman Street, either at the Spotted Cat or at the DBA.
Get a stamp and go wander the streets in between sets and go check out something else and come back.
To go out and see Glenn David Andrews at DBA, and they rocked the place to the rafters.
And Craig from Ebenezer was there playing piano and just killing it. Frontman kept coming off the stage into the crowd with his horn, no microphone, and just filling the room with his voice. It was incredible.
So I've always made fun of my friend Julie because she lauds the fact that she always carries her egg and her kazoo with her in her purse everywhere she goes. And John Boutte forgot his tambourine in his car.
I forgot my tambourine in the car.
Out my friend Julie pulls her egg. I got an egg.
Lead me way down in New Orleans.
He takes the egg. He shakes it. He's like, oh, this egg's way too sexy for me. And he hands it back.
All of my bases.
But halfway through the first song, we see him. He wants the egg.
Filet gumbo, catfish screw me all the way down New Orleans and Drew. You will never know how nice it is, what it really means. Oh, yes, I'm so glad to be where welcomes they are dear to me, where I can do.
He made it work, and then eventually he got the tambourine, and he still hung on to that shaker egg until the very end. Never to give it back to her, but it was very cool. That was a proud moment that our choir member happened to have a shaker egg. So thank you, Julie.
I loved that he had to borrow my egg shaker that everybody laughed about, that I carry everywhere and take out from time to time and shake when I'm in the mood. I loved that he hung on to it all night, and then I got him to sign it after.
All these clubs that you can just go and all the music kind of spilling to the streets and people are going everywhere and just music everywhere, and everywhere you go it's intoxicating, it's beautiful.
Step aside, step aside. The crew's gonna take a ride. Better stand behind the barricade. 'Cause here come the big parade. So make way. That's what the captain said. Down St. Charles and Esplanade. Here come the big parade.
We decided we'd try and catch the Sunday parade. They start at a club and sort of make their way around to various refreshment stops in the neighborhood.
So we got to this place, which we had found from a link was one of the stops on this second line parade. What the second line means is that anybody can join in the parade after the people who are involved in the parade and the people who are involved in the society. You become the second line, and you just march along, and they go along the route, and they come to a bar, and they stop, and everybody socializes.
So we just sat down and started talking to the people that were gathered there, which was just a fantastic mixed bag of people, all from that neighborhood.
As it got closer and closer to the time when the parade was going to arrive, a truck pulls up that's selling cooked turkey necks out the back of the truck, and another truck pulls up full of every imaginable kind of booze.
And there's just this kind of gathering excitement. Finally, we hear the music coming down the street. Just this wave of people coming up the street dancing and following the parade.
Almost like a sort of mini Mardi Gras parade that they do all the time here.
Ebenezer Baptist on Sunday night and do a full set of our music.
That was another amazing experience as well. We got to be part of their radio show, on-air church service, I guess you could say. But we were on their turf, and being on their turf meant following their lead. So when they asked us to come up to the front to talk to God with them, lots of us did.
And we're asking everybody in the sanctuary, if you will come down to the altar, kneel down and talk to God for yourself. Let the Lord hear your voice tonight.
You know, we're sort of all holding back, thinking, well, you know, this is their tradition, and to what extent do we jump in there? And then she made it pretty clear that as long as you can walk, you get up here and get on your knees to God.
Again, we're asking everybody in the sanctuary, unless you're handicapped, come on to the altar, kneel down. Somebody don't have legs to walk tonight, and they wish they could walk. Thank you, my Lord God.
Down at the front, down on your knees, praising Jesus, which is not exactly what I do every Tuesday or even every Sunday.
And everybody just like, okay, we're there.
Coming to you from the blessed sanctuary of the Ebenezer Baptist Church, located in the beautiful uptown area of New Orleans, Louisiana, 2415 South Claiborne Avenue.
I've discovered that there is one unifying feature to gospel music in the South: volume.
I got the notion that the louder you shout, the easier it is for the Lord to hear you.
Turn it up to 11, leave it there the whole time.
It was very apparent to me that that was not in any way, shape, or form a performance. It was, they were worshiping.
And we saw how much that music means to the people whose music it really is, from whom we're just borrowing it. I saw that passion, and I saw that spirituality and community commitment, and I understand the music in a whole different way that I don't think I could have before having been there.
Choir of Vancouver, Canada.
Almost immediately I abandoned the program because I had to really work with what the congregation, where they were going, what they wanted, the music that really spoke to them. So basically you're just calling every song as it happens.
And then Brian lit up like a Christmas tree, conducting that band and trying to get control of the room and getting us all in the pocket with the music. That was great. That was really, really fun.
They especially, I think, were blown away by the African songs that we did.
We got to really see them interact with our music and have, it's what I always want our music to do, which is to take our listeners to a different place and to give them an experience and to get them out of their seats and to them to get excited, and that's exactly what they did.
See Brian's face and he's like, we have a program and that is gone now. Bye-bye program.
I had to follow the same directions I always give the choir, which is be ready for anything. And anything happened and we had to go with it. And that to me is one of the most exhilarating kinds of performances.
And all of a sudden we were in a full-on freak-out praise break.
And Brian was, kind of composing on the spot with what the choir was singing. The choir was improvising, and we all got to dancing, and it was so moving.
This experience is building as we speak, and we don't know where it's going to go, and we can only follow the energy.
I don't know how long this is going to go on, but if it goes on any longer, I have something to add here, but maybe this would fit,
To really be spontaneous myself, which I really like, and I was so proud of how great the choir sounded and how flexible they were and how not only willing they were to go with the moment, but excited to go with the moment.
You have some of those performances sometimes when you're not there, you don't know what you did, you don't know how you got there. It just felt like the whole room was lifted. It was all the human spirit uplifted, in celebration, and that was far beyond anything that I expected.
So you just join, you just go in there and you give yourself over to it. If I could find any place to praise Jesus from, it was that. It's like, thank you, I never thought this would ever happen to me.
They came up and joined us, and we hugged and sang and had a very joyous time.
When Brian started unbuttoning his shirt, I'm thinking, these shoes that I've been wearing for 3 hours are going off. I wanted to kick off my shoes.
It heated up in there pretty good by the time we were up there, and there was a certain point where I just thought I was going to get heat stroke if I didn't strip down, so I had to peel down to my t-shirt, but I kept my scarf on. It was an amazing experience, I think, for the choir to see what kind of effect this kind of music can have with an audience that grows up with this music, and they know what they want from it and what to expect from it, and they know how to interact with it. And that was just a tremendous experience for everybody.
Even though our realities are totally different, I think the link is music, and I think that was wonderful. It's real teaching, it's real learning, it's an incredible learning experience. It's very rich, it's very deep.
Structure-shattering experience of being with these people in their tradition of praise.
I just felt really grateful to have a different experience as a non-religious person. I did go to church as a kid, and so I had some exposure, but never did I go to a Southern Baptist church, so it was pretty incredible.
I thought singing with a gospel choir right there was probably one of the most inspirational things that I did in New Orleans. Yes, it is very inspiring. I will never sing gospel the same again after being here.
So at the end of the show, I was heading out, and these two women approached me and said, "Oh, thank you so much. It was such a great night." And I said, "Oh, you're very welcome." I said, "I didn't know if we had it in us, you know." And they said, "Ah, you got it in you, girl. Y'all blew the house down. You tore the roof off. Y'all got the Lord in there. You got the Lord in you." And I'm like, "Okay, that's good to know." So I'll never forget that. That was a highlight of that night.
I feel like every day was like extra full with, I can't remember the last time that I felt like, damn, I don't want to go to sleep, what a waste of time. You feel alive, you feel so alive. I love it.
I love the city. I love the people, first and foremost.
People are super friendly, and the whole city is dedicated to art and culture and music, and that speaks to my soul.
Whole atmosphere had a feel about it of welcome and of participation.
Well, you know what they say, laissez les bon temps rouler.
My other huge impression of New Orleans is that it's this juxtaposition of decay and wrecked stuff and death even, right up next to exuberant life, exuberant music on every corner. Something dying and decaying, and then, you know, this beautiful flower growing up in the middle of it. That crumbling grandeur was pretty wonderful.
I was really excited by the spiritual depth of the trip, and how it kind of in places became a real spiritual party. And that's what's the theme that's really been hitting me, is kind of the sacred and the profane, and how it all gets kind of rolled in together and makes this delicious city what it is, you know?
Mama,
do you want to go? I'm keeping that one right here. And the other one, just say yes. And enjoy what you're doing. And keep doing what y'all doing.
You too.
And y'all be blessed.
God bless
and
you.
safe. And I'm going to be looking forward to hearing something from y'all. See you later.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Y'all be safe now.
You too.
Okay.